Hi, I'm Navid Ansari and I'm PC designer and embedded software development for 9 years, I think. I decided to be a YouTuber from no one. Of course, I did upload some courses from like 5 years ago, but I decided to teach some cool stuff on YouTube, so please subscribe and hit that bell button. In here you see I did open a Arduino sketch that has a setup function and a loop function, but I want to use Visual Studio because it has autocomplete, it has better IDE, and it's more beautiful. Just click on continue without code. Now go to extension, manage extension, and in here just search for micro and install this Arduino IDE for Visual Studio, Visual Micro. Its name is Visual Micro, and you see it is a trial, it's free. When you install it, if you want to go premium, it gives us some cool debugging tools, but for now I use trial always and it works for me. Install this, and when you install this, if you go to new Arduino project, will be appear in here, Arduino project, enter a name. I want to say UDP example, hit OK, and now you see that there is our setup function and our loop function. This is the way to create a Arduino project in Visual Studio. You see it's more beautiful. Let's just show it alongside each other. You see setup and loop, setup and loop. Which one is more beautiful? Of course this one. So that's why I'm using Visual Studio. Let's just get rid of all of these comments. I don't want any comment. From top you can see that the version of Arduino that I have installed is Arduino 1.8.15, so I choose this 1.8, so it is okay. And the board that I wanna write program for it, it's a esp8266. So I choose generic esp8266 module because you know all of these boards that called esp8266 is like each other, but some of them use some pins that in this case it's not important for me, so I choose esp8266. and the COM port that I want to use to be connected, let's just connect this to our PC. The COM port will be here. We can choose the COM port, COM5. In this case it's my esp8266, and with this we can build our project, and with this we can build and upload our project. If you want to add any library to your project, just go to add library, download and install Arduino library. If you have the zip file for that, you can click on install Arduino library from zip, but in this case we want to install the Arduino library online, and in this case I want to just add all the library that is for ESP8266. So just go to manage boards. Of course I didn't install it before, but if you search here ESP8266, you can see that I did install this. If you go down, the version that I'm using here is version 2.7.4. Of course you can update it to latest version, but this version works for me, and I will update it at the end of this video, and we'll see if there is any change or whatever like that. So just install this version because I'm writing for this version, and that's it. Now that everything is set up, we can start coding. You know, in Arduino, what is cool about it, there is a lot of examples for every project that you want to do. But when your project gets bigger and bigger and a lot of line of codes, it gets complicated, so it's better to use Visual Studio. I can't say it more than this, that you should use Visual Studio and with Visual Micro. So like Arduino, there is examples in here as well. Whatever you install on Arduino will be on Visual Studio. These two are connected, so first you should install Arduino as well. You see, if you go to file, go to examples, go to ESP Wi-Fi, there is UDP in here. That's the example that they give us for you to be able to write code for UDP. I will explain line by line in here so you can understand everything. In Visual Studio, we have that as well. If you go to add a library, go to download and install our Arduino library. You saw that from before that we installed this board. If you go to examples, you can see it from here. Go to example, go to esp8266 libraries, and in here go to esp8266 Wi-Fi, and in here there is UDP, and if you click on this example will pop up. Show both of them. This example is exactly the example that is here, and they are reference to the same location. So you should first install Arduino, and after that you can install the extension that called Visual Micro, and you can write code in Visual Studio from now on. So this is the example. At first we should include the libraries that we wanna use for UDP socket. So this is the two library that we should include in our example. So let's just include it up here. That's okay. You see this error. If you compile this project, this error will be gone. Let's wait until it's compiled. So know that we compiled, there is no warning or errors, and if you go here you see no issue found. There is no error here as well. The next thing that we should do is to define our SSID. So copy and paste these two lines to your project. It's called STA SSID. It's for I think a stationary SSID or something like that. It's in case that you are the client of Wi-Fi router. What does it mean? It means that you want to connect to Wi-Fi router, not somebody connect to you, because ESP8266 can be a Wi-Fi router as well. So I want to call it SSID. I think it's better. Password should be password. Why not use password, right? What next? We need to use a port to connect to our ESP8266. You know that in PC, in our PC we use 80 for HTTP connection, and I think 400. You can look it up on the internet. What port you can use, and it's free. From 2000, it's free. I always use 2000 for my projects, but you can use 8048. That you can see in this example that they did use that. The next two line is for packet buffer. What is packet buffer? Packet buffer is for those characters that you received and you wanna store it in the array. So we define an array in here. Just copy it and paste it in here. We create this array buffer to store all the data that is coming from the packet center or mobile or server or whatever. We want to save it in here. So the array size we can set it to whatever we want, but the maxed UDP text packet size is this one. If you hold Control and click on this, you can see the maximum is this. So let me show you one more time. If you hold Control on your keyboard and click on this, it will show you what is the maximum value that you can receive in every packet in ESP8266. So we don't want to use this much. Why? I think this much, 255 is more than enough for us. For the next, we want to send back a string to tell whatever that are sending or sending packet that we received your packet. So we said that we define a char array to, let's just paste it here, char array that called we store acknowledged as a string in there that we said, but in this case I want to say packet received, whatever you want. Of course you can received. You can ignore the reply, but in the big project you should always tell the sender of the packet that I did receive the packet. You don't need to send it again. Next, we need to create an instance of Wi-Fi UDP with this line. So Ctrl+C to copy it, and we define it here. Why we did that in up here? Because we want to access that in setup and in loop. Okay, if we put this on setup, you can't access it in loop function. So it's always better to define whatever you want to access everywhere in the top of your codes. Next thing is serial begin, because we want to have some debugging in here. So that's it. Everybody know about serial.begin. So let's move on. The next line is Wi-Fi.mode. Let me show you some modes that we can set. As you know, STA is for time that you need to be client to Wi-Fi router. Okay, but if you hold Control and click on this, you see there is 3 type of modes that esp8266 can manage. First one is Wi-Fi SDA, that you are the client and you want to connect to the router. Next one is Wi-Fi AP, that is access point or Wi-Fi router. You act like Wi-Fi router, so everybody can connect to you. And the next one is Wi-Fi AP and SDA. So it is more like Wi-Fi router and client, both of them in one project. Let's move on, save this, and go to the next line. The next line is for beginning the Wi-Fi, how you turn on the Wi-Fi and tell the ESP to connect to that router. So with Ctrl+C, I copy it and paste it here. Wi-Fi.begin, we need SSID. Let's copy and paste these two. Password. Okay, so with this line we will be connected to our Wi-Fi router if we give it a correct information. My SSID is MAPCO and the password is this. So with this line of code, we will connect to the Wi-Fi router, but there is a method here that we can write to wait until the ESP8266 has connected to the Wi-Fi router. So Ctrl+C, I will explain it, of course. While Wi-Fi is not connected, write print a dot, and after that wait for 500 milliseconds, and again check that and wait here until we are connected to Wi-Fi router. So I want to just add a \n in here, so it goes to next line, or we can delete this and say ln here. So after a dot, it will go to the next line. If the ESP8266 pass this, it means that it connected to our Wi-Fi router. So we can say that in here. So in here we say that, let's just clean this up. So it is connected, okay? It is connected to our Wi-Fi router because this condition will be passed. So the next, we want to get the IP of our ESP8266, the IP that the router gives us. With Wi-Fi.local IP, we can get the IP of our ESP8266. But before that, I want to say, let's just give ln here and serial. See, that is autocomplete print. In this case, I want to say print because I want to do it like this. IP address, and the IP address in this line, I want to say print ln, okay? And in here, Wi-Fi dot IP address, I think, local IP. So know that we did that. We should get the IP address as well. So know that everything is set up. Let's build and upload it to our ESP8266. In here, you see there is two buttons, one for restart and one for flashing. Okay, you should hold flash and go to hit start, so it goes to flash mode, and after that you can hit build and upload. So know that it's uploaded. We can open our serial monitor to see if it's connected to our Wi-Fi or not. If you go here, on open, you can see this this button. It will open this for us. I want to put it in here so we can see it clearly. The baud rate is this. Connect, disconnect and connect to it again, and now we can reset it, connect it, and the IP address that router gives us is this. Now we can use it to send UDP packet. So now that we are connected to the router and router gives us this IP, we can just set up our UDP server and receive data. Let's just go to examples, and you see the local port that we choose is 2000, you know, and we don't need to write it again. And know that we can just begin our UDP server. So Control C to copy this, and after this line Control V to paste that UDP.begin on our local port that is 2000. Okay, so now UDP is ready to receive data, but how we can receive it on the next lines. You see, in the loop we always check the packets that we are receiving, and with this line of code UDP.parse packet. What parse packet gives us, if you hold Control and click on it, you see it gives us an int, return the size of the packet in bytes, or 0 if no packets are available. Okay, so we can use that to see if there is any packet received, and we put the size in here and we check the size if anything, if it is more than 0. Okay, so let's just copy and paste these two lines in the loops, close bracket, and that's it. So with you know that parse packet will return a size of the packet that we received, and we check that to see if there is any packet received. If there is no packet, this gives us a 0. So if we say if packet size, it means we receive the data. So in the next line we are just printing some information about, first, the packet size, next the IP that send us that packet, okay, next the port that they are using to send us the packet, and next is destination is us, and the local port that is 2000, and the free heap, so we know how much heap is available for us with that packet that we received. So let's just copy and paste this to watch that information. Enough, just paste it here. Now with that, let's just run this to see this information, how they can help us. You know that TCP and UDP use some RAM, and we don't have a lot of RAMs, so we should always check how much RAM we have, because if you overload that RAM, it will result in crash. So now everything okay, let's connect to it, and we are connected. Now we can go to packets in there, and the IP is 100. Let's just change it to 100, and we say hello world, and you see the received packet of size 11 from this IP. It is the IP of my PC that this packet sender used. The port to the destination, that is us, to port of 2000, and this is the free heap that are available. Now that we received the packet, let's just see what is let's just see this hello world in our end, in our ESP. So let's just go to UDP. In this line you see that we use packet buffer to receive everything. Okay, so we can just copy and paste this. After this line you should go back here. So we say UDP.read the packet buffer that we set in here. We don't need more than 255. And what this will give us, let's just hold Control and go to read to see what it will return for us. Return the number of characters read, or 0 if none are available. So that's it, how many characters we did receive. Okay, so in this next line you see that it put a 0 on the last place of the characters that we receive from that packet. You see, because we don't want an error. Some error maybe happen because of the packet that we receive. We don't know what we are receiving. If you do know in your project what you are receiving, it doesn't matter, but it's for safety for us to put this line in our code. And after that we can just print the content that we received with this two line. It's just serial.println, contents, and we can just delete this ln because we want this content be after this string, and the packet buffer will be shown to us. So let's just go and see if we receive the content or not. For that we just hold this flash button here. Always there is a flash button in all esp8266 boards. So you hold it, and after that you hit restart, and it will go to flash mode, and you can just click on build and upload, so it will be uploaded to our esp8266. With this line of code we must receive and see that packet. We want to say hello world to this IP with this port. Now that it's uploaded, we can just reset our ESP and see it's connected, same IP address. We are ready to send TCP packet. Okay, so let's just send, and you see the content is hello world. So next thing that we want to do is to send back to our packet center or whatever that we received your packet. Okay, so this three line is for that. So we want to send a packet. So first thing, we should begin a packet with the IP that sends us that packet and the ports that IP, that device use to send us that packet, and we write reply buffer that we create here. We said just acknowledged. Now in here acknowledged, but in our project is packet received, and after that we end that packet, so it will be received by the sender. So let's add that there. So we say udp.begin packet, we give it the IP that send us that packet with udp.remote IP, and the port that sender used to send us that packet, and after that we say udp write that reply buffer that we already did from before. We make it ready for this, and after that we say udp end packet. So again, hold flash button and hit reset. It is in flash mode, and now we can just upload our project. So it tried to get connected to our router. Our router gives this IP to our ESP, and now we can send packet to it. And you see, we send hello world and we received packet received. Every time we send a packet, we received the packet received. Until here, everything was easy. Just copy pasting from examples, right? Everybody can do that. But what I want to do next is what professionals do to make their life easier for bigger projects. So what we should do to organize everything. Let's say you open your project, your big project, 1 year after you finished your project. Do you remember anything about that? Can you continue working on that project? If you write it like this, you won't be able to continue that. It will get so hard that maybe make you disappointed, right? So what we can do, let me make an example first. I'm working on a smart home design. I did finish its PCB, and now I'm working on its code, right? I will explain it later in another videos, of course, because it gets complicated very fast. But for that, I needed the UDP socket to send data. I can't do it like this, it gets messy so fast that you can't follow what is happening. I write everything separately, like this 3 line of code for sending back data or sending UDP packet should be on a function outside of this main function that has setup and loop in it. How we can do it? Let's just make an example here. Till this, you can copy and paste all of this code to your Arduino, like it is here, and upload it, build it and upload it on your esp8266. But what I'm gonna do, of course you can do it in Arduino, but it is not as easy as you can do it in Visual Studio. So let's find out how we can do it in Visual Studio. If you right click on source file, add new item to our project, select Arduino, CPP and H code. You know, because we are using classes to write our code, we can't use Arduino C and H code. So please remember, you should use Arduino CPP and H code. I want to call it MUDP. This is the library name that I choose. You can choose whatever name you want. Click add and it gets created. So we want to change this 3 line of code to just a function. How we can do it? Just we can go to our CPP in here. You know, it is here, mudp.cpp in here. Let's just create a function. I don't want nothing for in return, so void UDP lowercase. I always do that lowercase. Send UDP packet, and this is our function to send a UDP response or send a UDP packet. What we need to send the UDP packet, we need a, let's just see, we need a UDP instance. So we shouldn't create any instance, so we pass it, and we need a reply buffer. We go here. First we should include everything, include these 2 library to our in here. Maybe you can add it to .h file. First thing we need is instance of UDP, but it's not a good thing to pass it like this. Just pass it like this. Let's just copy paste this. If you pass the UDP like this, it's get a lot of RAM, it get a lot of overhead, and it's not a good thing to do. We should just give the address to our function, and it is easy. You can just hit put an star in front of it, and after that you can just give the address to this function, and it will be faster and less overhead. I will show you how you can have more or less overhead. You know, it make some overhead, but you can. I will show you how you can do it, so it won't give you any overhead at all. So after that we need a char array, and we do it like this. Okay, char array, and we just need the address of that char array. We shouldn't pass whole array to a function, because I did tell you, it make a lot of overhead. It's time consuming. Now that we create that, we can just cut this and put it here, and in here instead of dot you should do it like this. I will copy and paste this because it is a printer, and the data we want to send is this, so we should change the reply buffer to data. And another step we should do is to copy paste this function and put it in .h file in here, so we can access it in our project. And now that we did that, we can include this library that we created in our project to here, include it here, and now we can say UDP send UDP packet, or UDP send packet. You don't need to write UDP again, but it's okay. So in here we should use AND for giving the address of our UDP, and the data we want to send. We can just create our reply buffer like this. Packet has received. Okay, so we can say just clear this, and that's it. That 3 line, just 3 line here and 1 line here. Just with this, it is more beautiful and it's easier to read. You know. So let's just test that. Again, I hold flash and hit restart, and now it is in flash mode, and we can upload our project. You see there is some error here. First error is variable or field UDP send packet declared void. So you see the problem that is here. We should cut this includes and put it in here. Let's just put it in top of everything, and now we can build it and everything is fine. So the problem was that we didn't include these libraries in .h file. Okay, so we want to upload it now. It is in flash mode, so everything should work fine. Of course, if you don't know any about pointers and overhead and everything like that, you can watch my free course on YouTube. That it's like 10-hour course that I did explain everything. So let's just go to serial monitor. It is connected, and now we can send data to it to see if it's still working or not. And everything working right. It's just again send, and you see everything is okay. We send hello world, and it gives us packet has received, and you know that packet has received. We define it, close this, we define it here, packet has received. So now we have a function that we can use it, send back data. What we did for sending packet, we can do it for receiving packet. You can just copy and cut all of this code and just make another function. And it will be more clear, two function in loop, and you can create another function for just initializing, and it will be more clear to read. So I don't want to make it longer for this video, because I think it gets like 40 minutes just to show the UDP send packet. It gets a lot of time for the video. So I will work on my project, that is a smart home. I will create my project from scratch so you can see everything. I will use this function that we created here and use all of this code, and I will explain everything from zero to where the project finished. So please hit that subscribe button and like this video if you like this video.